What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I'm back with episode 6 in the Bat Crazy Betty saga. And as I mentioned at the end of last episode, if you haven't seen it, you don't know what I'm talking about, then where have you been? Go and watch and listen to that one first. Things are getting a bit serious now in the present day. We've heard a lot of the stories about Betty and how crazy she's been over the last couple of years, arguably over the entirety of the time that OP has been with her husband Dan. But now we're moving into the present day and some issues with OP and her husband, of course, regarding Betty, but more importantly, I suppose, Dan's reaction to this whole thing and how he's dealing with it. So 3 posts in this one. Let's get into the first. Before we do, subscribe to the channel and turn notifications on so you don't miss when I post the next part. It's vitally important. I'm trying to post at the same time every single day at 8 p.m. here on the YouTube channel, but sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes I might have to miss a day. Whatever happens, if you have notifications on, then you will know when I post. So go down there, click the button, it takes 2 seconds, and you're never going to miss the next installment in the Bat Crazy Betty saga. It's time to take a stand, lovelies. Okay, so after the 2 posts I made today, those were the 2 posts I read in the last episode, I compiled all of the comments from them and the previous posts, and I sat down with my husband to talk about them. At first, he tried to dismiss my feelings, saying I need to move on from the past, and that his mother isn't the crazy female dog she used to be. I told him that she still is the crazy female dog she used to be, because she flat out declared she wanted to F him on St. Patrick's Day, and cried about how she couldn't because he's too busy effing the tramp that married him, me. He used the she was drunk excuse, and I said that a drunk mind spews sober thoughts, exactly. She is sexually attracted to her son, and he knows it, and she spent the last 11 years grooming him into being with her in that fashion. When I first started writing these posts, I said she hadn't tried being with him like that, but the more I've written, I'm realizing she freaking has, and I'd put my blinders on to avoid admitting the truth. I'm freaking sick to my stomach. The realization has hit me so hard, like a ton of bricks. I'll admit that I've repressed a lot of the horrible memories, and reliving the trauma has been really difficult on me, but it's cathartic to finally let it all out. I also realise I've made more excuses for my husband than I should have, and he's very much to blame for the heck his mother has put me through. My husband tried to argue that because he looks a lot like his dad, his mother is having a hard time letting go, and he's just trying to help her. But I countered that by saying his father died years ago, and a mother shouldn't be trying to abuse their own child in that way just because they are the spitting image of their husband who died from cancer. I told him to consider what he was saying and how crazy he sounded. No parent should look at their child that way. I even told him that I refuse to have children with him if that woman is going to be a part of our lives, and this is how she's going to act. I won't expose any child to her madness. He got upset and tried to shut the conversation down, but I wouldn't let him. So I gave him an ultimatum. Either he gets into therapy and has her committed, or goes no contact, or I'll be speaking to my father about getting a divorce attorney. I told him I love him and don't want to end our marriage, but I refuse to let this go on anymore. I'm tired of the constant rug sweeping. I'm tired of her disrespecting me. I'm tired of all of it. And if he wants to keep our marriage intact, he needs to put me first and her into her frickin' place. Either he wants to be married to me or he wants to be his mother's partner. He can't be both. Right now, he's sitting on the back porch and won't talk to me. I feel like this is the breakdown of my marriage, but you are all right. I've put up with more than I should have. I might go and stay with my parents for a while. For those wondering, my parents aren't fully aware of every incident with Betty. I've shielded them from a lot of it to protect my husband because my father would not hold back if he knew all of it. I'll continue to write, but tonight I think I need to sleep on this and consider my next move if my husband won't work with me. Wow, damning words, but it's got to this point clearly. Right, let's get straight into the next post, guys, because that same night, even more stuff went down. Titled, I went to my parents. After I posted last night, I tried to talk to him one more time. He said he would think about what I said, and that was it. He slept on the couch. When we got up this morning, he wouldn't even look at me. I asked him if he was okay, and he said he wasn't. I asked to talk about it, and he exploded. He said he'd called his mum last night to try talking to her and get some kind of clarity into what exactly she wants from him. He told her what I said, and she went into how I was the manipulative one, making up lies and trying to turn him against her. I asked him how could he believe her, and he said he didn't know who to believe. How is he still not understanding this? Like, it's insane. I said I couldn't believe him and that he knows her behavior isn't normal. He said he knew that, but he didn't think it went as deep as I thought it went. He said my ultimatum was unfair and that it puts him in a bad position, and he can't choose between me and his mum. He wants us both in his life, and he doesn't want to lose either of us. I said that it was unfair that I was nearly run over with a freaking car. It was unfair that I went through the trouble of trying to be nice to her many times, only for her to spit in my face and disrespect me because she wants to be her son's mistress. I said it wasn't fair that she'd ruined holidays for me because she insisted on making him feel guilty for not running back to her arms if he wanted to spend them with me. He said it wasn't true and that it wasn't that serious. I asked, what parent acts like that towards their kids? What if we had kids? A son, how would she behave towards him? I said that after everything that has happened over the last 13 years since we first got together, there is no way I will allow that woman to plague our marriage anymore. I've given him multiple chances to be firm with boundaries and stay low contact to avoid incidents like the ones from the past happening again. He said he understood how I felt, but he didn't want to believe his mother was that sick. I asked him about therapy again, and he blew up, saying he didn't need it, and I was the crazy one and should consider his feelings. I said I had been for 11 years, and I've tried to be understanding and cooperative, but after reading all of your comments and realizing I'd kept blinders on to avoid seeing the truth, I couldn't anymore. He said it wasn't fair that a bunch of strangers on the internet were dictating what happens in our marriage, and that he wanted me to delete the posts and never come on Reddit again. I said no, and that I won't separate myself from the only support I've had in frickin' ever. He called me a female dog and grabbed his keys and left. He never calls me that. For those of you that may not know, I always censor that word. You could probably work out what word it is. He didn't actually use the words female dog, but you know, the word beginning with B. I spent an hour crying before I called my mum. I felt bad I'd woken her up, but I needed her. I told her that Dan and I got into a massive fight and that I needed to stay with her and Dad for a while. She insisted I come over immediately. I packed some things and I went straight there. Mum and Dad sat with me at the dining room table as I spilled my guts out to them all night. It's the weekend, so they're fortunately off work. My dad is furious. He said many times he wanted to go and set Dan straight. Violently. I told him no, it wasn't worth that, and that I just need their support right now. We went out for breakfast and we're back at their place now. Mum and I are sipping tea in the backyard while Dad practices his golf swing, hopefully not to use on Dan. I have several texts on my phone from Dan and some from Betty. He apparently went running to her and cried. Many of the texts are him begging me to come back to him, and some are insulting me by telling me I need help and I'm a crazy female dog, followed by a barrage of apologies that he didn't mean it. Betty has texted me saying I'm a stupid female dog, that I don't deserve her precious baby boy, and that she will take care of him in his time of need. She also texted me a picture of them together with her holding his hand. I wanted to throw up. I didn't answer any of the texts, so now they're harassing me, trying to get me on the phone. Dad told me just to keep all of this as evidence of harassment. I'm pretty much resigned to the fact that my marriage is over. Dad's going to call his divorce lawyer friend and set up an appointment for me. My mum's insisted I get myself into therapy ASAP. I'm calling to make an appointment on Monday. This is all a lot, and I'm overwhelmed. Dan and I moved into our current house a year ago, so now I'm having to consider moving out. Our names are on the deed, and I don't know the first thing about selling a house. Thank God my parents are lawyers. I've not slept much today, so I'm probably going to take a very long shower and have a nap. If I'm feeling up to it, I'll post another story today. But right this moment, I barely have the mental capacity to sit down and type this out. I have a test coming up that I need to study for, and I haven't even started that. I'm so freaking done. Okay. So worrying stuff, I suppose, is what I will say so far. One more post to come in this episode, guys. And I'm going to be honest, it's just not looking good for these two. It's not looking good. Arguably, and I think, you guys were saying it in the comments as well, and I agree with you, this probably should have happened a lot earlier. Like, not earlier in terms of OP telling the story and posting on Reddit, but just like years before. However, sometimes it just takes looking back through your relationship or looking back through your life at events that happened, you didn't like, but you've sort of, as OP said, forgotten about them or forgot how bad they were or put blinders on and not fully understood them, to then have a look back and go, oh, actually, Now, with the benefit of hindsight and not being in that situation, this was way worse than I first thought. And I think, yeah, compiling all these stories together has made OP realize that, of course, with the help of Reddit comments as well, saying, what is going on here? You need to open your eyes. So we're in this situation. One more post to come in this one. And I'll just say it doesn't get much better from now. So that happened. Hey, lovelies. Thank you for all the support. It really has helped. I only wish you could do more to save me from the absolute lunacy that I just experienced. I can't even begin to comprehend what just happened. I checked my phone after my nap and there was a voicemail from Betty. I'll type what was said. Listen, OP, I spoke to X. Oh, interesting. OP's changed DH, which stood for Dear Husband. I was calling him Dan, to now X. Wow. Anyway, I spoke to X and it's really not right that you just left the way you did. You're not doing well and you need help. Oh, the irony. I promise support through your recovery. I hope you know that. You and X really need to work things out and start trying for kids. He thinks it will fix your broken marriage. You need to get yourself together. Don't throw away your marriage. Remember, I love you and I love Dan. Please call me back so we can discuss this. Love you. Bye. Oh my goodness me. How involved does this woman want to be? I wanted to cry. How is this being turned around on me? It's broken because of you, you female dog. I let my parents listen to the voicemail and my mother had to hold my father back. They said she is trying to gaslight and manipulate me and not to believe a word of it. Don't worry, mum and dad. I know. But it still sucks that they're trying to make me out to be the lunatic when all I've done is protect what mattered most to me. My freaking husband. After that voicemail, I became very afraid of what they may do. My husband has been badgering me about kids for a few years, and I worry that he might resort to drastic measures to get them if his mother has a say in the matter. I'm adding seeing my gyno about birth control to my list of stuff to do come Monday. I asked my parents to come with me to the house so I can collect more of my things. When we got there, I saw my ex's car in the driveway. When we got inside, he ran at me and pulled me into a hug and said it was great that I came to my senses and came home. I pushed him off and I told him I wasn't staying and I was only grabbing more of my stuff. Then I saw her, Betty, in my kitchen. She put on a fake smile and acted like we were besties. OP, I'm so glad you're here. We can finally have a talk. It was then she noticed my parents and glared at them. I thank my lucky stars they came with me because I don't know if I'd have been able to defend myself if she and Dan cornered me. I told her there wasn't anything to talk about and I went into my bedroom. She and Dan tried to follow, but my dad stood in front of the door and told them to leave me alone. My ex backed down, but not Betty. You need to move. I need to speak to my daughter-in-law. You can talk to her through her attorney, me, my dad replied. You don't need to be involved in this. This is a family matter. Wow, if she really did say that, that's absolutely insane. My mum then said, we are her family, so anything you have to say, you can say to us. Betty looked like she wanted to slap my mother. If she had, I doubt even my 6'2", 250-pound father would be able to stop me. Fine, have it your way. Dan, I tried to tell you what a dumb tramp she is, but you wouldn't listen. At this point, I lost it. Betty, you are the dumb tramp. You've been trying to F your own son since before we got married. Your behaviour has been disgusting, and you and him both have destroyed my marriage beyond repair. All I ever did was support him and protect him and love him through everything. You've both put me through heck, and I'm done. You can go F each other and be happy together for all I care. I'm getting my stuff and leaving. I don't want to see either of you anymore. You won, Betty. You can frickin' have him. Betty was positively beaming. My ex was looking like he just wanted to cry. Finally, she said. Stop it, Mum. OP, you're being unreasonable. We can get you help, Dan added. Stop. You're not going to turn this around on me or gaslight me again. You can go and F yourself. Better yet, go and F your mum. Well, I'll be better than you ever were. You're a dead fish in bed. Mum, said Dan. Everyone suddenly went silent. My father went pale, and my mother looked horrified. I could only stare at her in complete shock as she was looking at me all smug. I then looked at Dan, who looked embarrassed. You won't even deny it, will you? Is that what you want? You want to be with your own mother like that? No, I don't. Betty looked at Dan, and I saw the disappointment on her face, and she looked like she'd just got her feelings hurt, and it made me feel sick. Then explain it to me, Dan. Why are you allowing her to be like this with you? Why are you catering to it? She's grooming you, you idiot. Listen to what she just frickin' said. That's not normal. Betty was looking angry as Dan turned to look at her. Tell me the truth, Mum. Is that what you've been trying to do? She's lying again, baby. I've only ever loved my baby boy. She's just jealous of the love we have. She said it so manipulatively, and I wanted to scream. He is not a baby anymore, you dense female dog. My mum then said, OP, enough. Just get your things so we can leave, okay? I don't want to be here anymore, and your father is getting upset. I then looked at Dan. Dan, it's over. I want a divorce. As strong as I felt in that moment, internally my world was shattering. I went back to packing. Dan was begging, trying to reason with me, but I wasn't interested. My dad gestured for Dan to go into the living room, and both he and Betty sat on the couch. I started carrying my bags outside, and I saw her holding his head against her breasts and caressing his freaking head as he pitifully cried like a child. On the car ride back to my parents, I cried miserably. I can't believe that is the man I married. He used to be so strong and stood up to his mother regularly, but now it's like he's a meek little boy who is too afraid to say no to her. Someone in the comments on a previous post suggested that something already has happened between them. I used to think that couldn't be the case, but now I firmly believe something did happen between them, and he is too scared to admit it. I asked my parents if there was someone we could call about their relationship, and my dad said unless I have concrete evidence, there's not much anyone could really do. Adult Protective Services is primarily for vulnerable adults like the elderly or disabled, not full-grown mama's boys. I'm sitting alone in the backyard right now, contemplating what my life will be like from this point forwards. I'm trying to envision it, but all I keep seeing is an empty room and I'm completely alone. My parents have assured me that I can stay for as long as I need to, but I feel like such a burden on them. I'm not a child, but I definitely don't feel like an adult at the moment, and I need them. I'm so lost and devastated. My home is gone, my marriage gone, my life gone. Everything I'd built is gone. 13 years. 13 years I can never get back. I'm going to use some vacation time from work and take a short leave from law school so I can recuperate. I'm not in the right mental state to be focusing on either one right now. I have so much to do and my mind is just in a fog. I'll update if anything happens. I was going to write another Betty story today, but I just can't. I'm really sorry, guys. Thank you for understanding. Well, there we go. It's not looking good, is all I can say after that. I think it's very reasonable that you're feeling terrible about this and you're crying and you're upset. But ultimately, like from my perspective, you have made the right decision. The fact that, you know, he is in his mum's like bosom as you are going off with your parents, crying, him crying, is like insane. Like, yeah, give her a hug. But he's just acting like a 4-year-old child. It's really, really weird. I hadn't thought about that comment that somebody else said. Had something sexual perhaps happened with the two of them before? Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about that. I'd love to say that has never happened, and I hope it hasn't, obviously, but who knows at this stage? Anything is possible with Betty and Dan, it seems. Now, don't worry, there are more posts to come, and we do go back and have a look at some more of the old chronicles of Betty. So make sure to subscribe for that. But for now, wow. I feel bad for OP, but I think this is the start of the next step. And it's definitely like a step in the right direction. Goodness me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you don't miss the next one. There's episode 1 if you haven't seen it yet. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.